other places like Africa, they're dying for like clean water. But for us, we're like, well, there's water there. There's Aquafina, but it's not my brand.
Exactly.
Of water, so
exactly.
No,
So I don't.
Let me not go after that. So
I know.
Dire
I
is
know.
your situation.
Well, we're back again.
Yeah.
Back again. I mean, to our audience, it doesn't seem like we left because we've been uploading, but we haven't recorded for weeks. But we're back. I'm Julian.
Ty.
And this is it. This is where we are. Broken filter of thoughts, and we
new
just
thoughts, new opinions. World slowly changing.
What is the world coming to? When you've been quarantined, are you essential? Like, what do you think? Are you waiting for things to become normal again? Whatever that means to
whatever that's going to be.
Whatever that's going to be, what's going to be the new normal? Like everybody is walking around with masks and gloves, and I'm just like, is this what we've come to? Is this what it has come down to? Like, but this is what I get the mask in the stores.
Right.
I get the mask walking around. I don't get the mask while you're driving and your windows are up.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
get
That's
that.
true.
I look in my rearview mirror and I see people like they have the mask on and they're driving, and I'm like, you're in your car by yourself.
Probably because they don't feel like
why do you
going,
have a mask
all right,
on?
off,
Yeah,
on.
but I mean, you can always slide it down,
so,
and then before you exit your car, put it right back up.
Right. I know personally, like, the mask can look cool, especially if you got like a, I don't know, customized one or so.
Yeah, I have one for Star Wars.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm not even a Star Wars fan, but it looks cool.
Right, exactly. It's different at least. But
you know what I mean?
One thing with it, though, is that it does get a little bit hard to breathe over time.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Which is why I understand what you mean when you're saying, why are they wearing it like when they're driving?
Yeah, because it's tough enough wearing it like every day when you're you're still working, I'm still working, like at the job it's like mandatory now that everybody has to have one on, and I'm working 12 to 14 hour days.
Right.
I have that on for 12 to 14 hours, and I'm like,
that's a lot.
That is, so
and me moving freight and heavy
exactly
shit. Like, what are you doing?
you're like and then the moment I get in my car, like I can't wait to get in my car to just rip that thing off and just breathe. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'll be having to take breaths. Like there's
no
going
definitely.
the entire day.
Oh no, definitely.
That's
times
insanity.
when I just walk away
and you're not around people.
Exactly. So, when I'm not around, like I walk away to a secluded area, I pull it down, and then I just walk around, take a few breaths. Like if I'm walking from outside in the open, like outside,
then it's fine.
I pull it down because I mean, if there's no living human being around me, I don't really see the need to like have the mask.
Right.
And that's where everybody needs to really educate themselves. I mean, and then it's like, the whole thing, it just seems to me like they were fishing at first, and then they kind of try to have something solid. Like,
fishing
everybody
like in like a solid way to try to combat it or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because first it was like, oh, you don't need to wear a mask. And now it's like, oh, everybody needs to wear a mask. Like,
right.
What's up with that? Like, so it was like, oh, well, China, everybody was wearing a mask, and that's what helped them, flatten the curve and all. And I'm like, okay, it's like, you don't know what you're doing.
I think a little bit of that, too, is because, again, Americans are so centered on themselves in a way. Like, even before all this happened, like, if you go, like, over to Japan or China or something like that, they, like, wear a mask whenever they're sick in order to not, like, make anybody else sick.
Exactly.
But for over here, we're, like, wearing masks, but I think people's intent for wearing a mask over here is to not get themselves sick.
Correct.
They're not thinking about other people.
You're absolutely right about it.
I myself don't want to get sick.
We're so self-centered in the United States, like, it's like,
and it's annoying.
I know, it really is. We don't think about others. It's just like, even with the stores, with the hoarding, like, you don't think about the next family, the next person, that old lady that lives upstairs that, like, we don't think about that. It's like, oh, I have access to it and I'm going to take as much as I can buy. Like,
and then do the ultimate selfish thing. Like, not everybody does it. Very few people that do it, but that stockpile the shit and then start trying to sell it off at like that higher mark. Like
that's the worst, man.
Gross.
Like, oh, I'm gonna make extra money. I'm gonna go to Sam's Club and buy 20 cases of water, and I'm gonna sell it to people for like $20 a case.
Right.
No one's gonna buy it because you know what? There's not a shortage of water or food.
Right.
I mean, yes, you may go to the store and you may not see the brand
there
that you like. Like,
yeah, that's one thing too.
Like with me, with us, me and my wife, like, we specifically drink Deer Park.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you go to the store, boom, no Deer Park. And it's like, what the heck's going on? And then when you find it, it's like, you don't want to be that guy, but you're like, okay, you know what? I'm still gonna be cool. I'm only gonna get 2 cases, even though yes, that part of you is saying, well, there's no restriction, there's no limit on how many you can get. Get 6, and I'm
that
like,
animal side.
Yeah, I know. It's
like, all right,
I'm like,
me and
no, I'm not doing that.
See, that's one thing I was like telling my lady too, is that shows like how much of a first world we live in. The fact that, okay, in other places like Africa, they're dying for like clean water, but for us, we're like, well, there's water there. There's Aquafina, but it's not my brand.
Exactly,
of water,
exactly.
No,
so I don't.
Let me not go after that. So how
I know.
dire
I
is
know.
your situation?
I know. Like,
we can still be picky.
People are like, it's water. Does it matter if it's Deer Park? Or what if it's like it comes from the same place and it's just different labeling on it? And people have said that. But I do have to say, there is a difference between Aquafina, Dasani, and Deer Park.
There is. Definitely Aquafina and the rest.
Oh, yes. You can taste it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, you can really taste it, though.
I think in reality, like, each of them, they take, like, a certain packet of minerals or so, and then they add it to their water.
I think...
And that's the difference in, like, the taste. I at least that's what I heard.
Like, for me, I don't even know how I got into, like, Deer Park. I just got used to it, and then I try something else, and I mean, I'll do Poland Spring. Poland Spring, if I see that, I'll buy that. But
you sound so bougie.
I know, I really do, but I'm not.
But that's the reality.
I know, but you know what I mean.
I know.
But I've had other one, and I'm like, this tastes kind of funny to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, when you're used to something, of course, everything else is going to taste
different,
not like it. You know,
right.
So it's like then you start to wonder, like, wait, like, what if this brand of water just stops making water? And what do you do? Like, I mean, like, but we humans were so. I mean, the change is one thing that is constant. So you're just gonna have to adapt because we do have that, that adaptability.
Yeah, that's what makes us human.
Exactly, that's what makes us human. So, I don't know. It's like, but that's me. And then of course, we do have a certain brand of toilet paper that again. Yeah, I know. But hey, listen. That I can get justified because that's my hiney, and my hiney, I take care of my hiney.
That's what people say. Like,
you know what I mean?
You gotta take care of your ass, and you gotta take care of like where you sleep.
Listen,
so that's the two core places.
Some people like to use sandpaper. That's not me. You know what I mean? I'm not sanding anything rough.
No,
that's my behind. So it's got to be smooth. It's got to be soft.
Right. Again, as long as it's soft, that's exactly all that really matters.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And again, even with that, you can, there's the difference. I mean, if you go to a public bathroom, the toilet paper you're going to find there is not going to be the same quality as the one you probably use at home. You know what I mean? But if you got to go, you got to go. Yeah. I mean, what you going to do? Maybe you use that one time, and that's cool. But some people, they are used to that. That style,
softness, like the thickness of it or so. But
so, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you gotta kind of stick to it as long as you can. But when you can't, you try to find second alternatives or so like that. That's why a real big piece of me wishes that America had more in the way of the bidets or so.
Oh yeah,
that spray you from underneath.
Yeah,
it seems super weird.
I know
weird at first.
It does, but a lot of foreign countries, especially countries. I mean, out. I don't know. I guess
does Europe have them?
Yeah, they have them a lot in Europe. I
know Asia countries.
But here we think that's like, ew, no, like I don't want to do that. But it really does the job better than
Right.
toilet paper.
And it feels good. It feels
Right.
nice. The warm water. Okay.
At
It
first I know
seems
it's
odd.
weird.
It seems odd.
I know
Yes.
that. I remember you kept talking about that when you came back.
That's
from
what I'm
Japan.
saying.
And you were like, "No, seriously." Like I'm like,
so odd, but you get so addicted to it so quick, and you're like, all right, I can't go back. And then you're forced to go back
I
because we don't
know
got the tank.
exactly. It's not that we don't even have it. I just think, in American culture, to bring that in, it's going to have to be, spoon fed to us. You know what I mean? Like it's going to take convincing. And stuff like that. But
It would solve the problem with toilet paper.
oh,
though.
it would. But I still do not understand why all the toilet paper
Neither
is
do
gone.
I. Neither do I.
I don't get
That's
it.
an odd one.
I-
Yeah.
There is no in my mind. There's no correlation
Right.
to like what's going on and why you can't find toilet paper in the stores.
Right.
I don't get it. Okay, I get that people are going to be home. I get that you're going to probably want to eat.
And there's going to be women in the house who do use more toilet paper than guys because they have to
But
use
I
it
still
for each.
don't get why it's gone.
I
Like
don't know.
the stupidity of it is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Like of everything in this world, you're going to be quarantined. You may not have to leave your house for the next 2 months. Toilet paper. Like
Right.
I can think of 5 things off the top of my head
That's
to
more
stock-
valuable
to
than toilet
stock your
paper.
house with than toilet paper.
Right.
And I don't even think if I really sat down and wrote 10 things, I don't think toilet paper will be the first 10.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, it'll be there somewhere.
That's why I'm thinking, like, I
I'm
don't
like-
know if this is just, like, the guy's perspective, and if females use toilet paper a lot more, therefore they're the ones that kind of tell the guys, get some toilet paper. Or, I'm not sure.
Honestly, I think I can solely put the blame of this one on social media.
What, the toilet paper?
Yes. I don't know why. Because so many things come up on social media and people say things and all of a sudden it's like everybody just gravitates towards
Yeah, it's the new fad.
that.
It's
You know
the
what I
new
mean?
viral
Exactly.
trend.
Exactly. Like somebody probably was like, "Oh man, you need to stock up on toilet paper because you're not gonna get any." And they were toilet paper. I'm like, no, there is not a shortage of food. There's not a shortage of supplies. There is not a shortage of anything. The only thing that's happening is you're being told to stay at home and go to the stores only when you need to get supplies. Now, there will come a time when there will be a short, and that scares the pants off of me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
you?
yes,
Okay.
because right now, there's no shortage of anything.
Right.
I mean, people are hoarding, yes, but there's no shortage of anything,
Right.
right? But what happens when there's an actual shortage of food, of supplies?
That's the next stage.
That will be, and that's where I see the cannibalism coming out.
Cannibal.
Like seriously, but
I would hope
like,
not, but I mean,
that's when I can see people buying toilet paper when there's a real shortage,
Right.
and you're pushing your cart to the car, and there are just people in the parking lot waiting to jump you for your toilet paper.
Now that I can see.
And for
that
your
I
water.
can see. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to the point that you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go to the stores. Armed to the teeth.
Right.
Yeah, you can try it if you want to. You better back up. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to be Rambo just going to the grocery store to get some groceries.
Which is unfortunate, but if it got to that point, I think the thing that will push it to that is if the power went out. If the power went out, that would accelerate that time frame dramatically.
Yeah,
all right. Now, frozen foods, that's not a thing you got.
Exactly. Better learn how to hunt.
Non-perishables, yeah.
Better
Stock
learn
up
how to
on-
hunt or
exactly.
how to farm.
That's
You
right.
know?
So cans, like you don't see I don't think we've looked for it, but you would think cans would be the thing, like canned food. It's
Even
the
now,
thing that
people are
like
stocking canned food.
Right.
Like
But they're
my
stocking
wife
more
tried to go to the
toilet
store the
paper
other day to
than
get
canned food,
spam,
though.
like the canned spam, and she couldn't find any.
Right.
Like all the canned food are like gone.
But which is rare, canned food or toilet paper now?
I would think canned food will be the first thing to go, but believe it or not, you can still get canned food easier than you can get toilet paper.
That's what I'm saying, which is weird.
That's crazy.
Which is
like
odd.
people are not even thinking right. Are you serious?
Right.
Like if there was an apocalypse right now, your toilet paper will not matter.
It's not gonna last.
What are you gonna eat? Toilet paper?
If you're playing a post-apocalyptic video game, do you collect toilet paper? No, you don't. You collect fucking bullets, bullets and rations. But no, people don't think like that in this day and age. But like you said, it most likely was propagated by the social media and people seeing other people running for toilet paper, so it just accelerates and more and more and more. Until you get what we got.
The poor people that got punched in the face over toilet paper. Because I think we talked about that in one of the videos where the one girl, like they double teamed this one girl and just like it was just merciless over toilet paper. And I'm like, that is a sad thing to see in society.
That's a sad thing to have to tell your kids. You got your ass whipped over toilet paper. Food or that toy on Christmas, maybe, but to get an ass whipping from toilet paper, that's sad.
Honestly, me, I'd be like, you know what? It's not even worth it. Look, take the toilet paper.
Right.
I'll find another one in another store. It's not worth it. That's not. Some things, yes, I'm willing to fight for. Toilet paper is not one of it.
Nah, definitely not.
Definitely not one of it. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just...
It's wild.
A lot of things I see the madness, the craziness. Like, it just goes to show how people really are, man. Like, I think with this whole thing going on, you know me, it's a prelude to something bigger, something much bigger. And this is just their the beta testing stage.
Wait, so you think that it's the intentionally leaked virus or something?
Yeah, man, everything is like, I don't think anything is an accident anymore, man. Like, I really don't. I mean, just because of some of the things, I mean, if you really look at it, I think, like, don't be fooled. The government run simulation about a whole lot of things all the time. And sometimes people get overambitious for whatever reason, And the truth about it is, a lot of people want to think that the government is there to really care about you. No, that's a great misconception. They're there to keep you under control so you don't just do whatever it is that you want.
But in a way, we do need that control.
I mean, yes, we need that. But, complete submission to government means that you've given total power to a group or entity, so to speak, that potentially has the power to abuse that authority that you've given them and that power, and they can manipulate it in response to however they feel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The definition
so
of
that
having
should
power,
be correct. Right? Because even with government, there should be checks and balances.
Which there are,
for the most part. For the most part, they are, but...
They can get around it, obviously.
Exactly.
They got their loopholes.
Exactly.
But...
So, because I someone sent me something, they asked Alexa if, the government, started this whole thing. And Alexa...
Asked Alexa?
Yeah, you'd be surprised if people asking Alexa. And it was like, the government, ran a simulation about this, blah, blah, blah.
Wait, Alexa said this?
Yes. And it was like, but it got out of hand, it got out of control, and now they're panicking and they don't know what to do.
I think someone set that up. That has to have been a response. Like,
listen.
Like, I can type in or say, okay, Google... Did the government start this? That would not be a response that AI would throw.
Now, again, who knows?
That's hilarious, though.
Somebody maybe hacked Alexa and put that in there. Right. I'm sure it's very possible.
Because there's been like YouTube videos where somebody would like have a conversation with Alexa being jealous. Like, Alexa, where is this at? why don't you go ask that bitch Siri? And it's like, I'm pretty sure she didn't actually say that.
Well, yeah. And I mean, but, certain things, though, it's like, you look at it and you're like, Because, again, when this whole thing started, it looked like the government was panicking. They didn't know what to do.
Right.
They really
there was
didn't
conflicting
know what to do.
evidence.
Exactly. There was conflicting evidence. There was conflicting news. There was conflicting things about how to stop it, how to stop the spread. Like, it was just, I'm like, okay, you guys don't seem like you know what you're talking about.
See, but wouldn't
Come back to me when you know what you're talking about.
But wouldn't that point more towards they didn't intentionally set this up? Because it took them by surprise as well. Unless they're extremely good actors and can pull off an act.
What do you think all these people are? All your celebrities are not good actors.
I know. But like you said,
anybody who is always in the face of the public, the media, y'all actors.
But that's saying, like, so like you say, the government didn't know what to do. Because, again, we didn't jump on it till it was way later than we should have, basically. Yeah. They kept downplaying the severity of it. And then by the time we knew it, New York has all these cases, and okay, now we take it seriously.
Exactly. So, I think that they only wanted to release it in a certain way and only accounted for so much casualties, and then they didn't account for other factors, which is human factors. And then, we're human. People going to just do what they want to do. You can't really control.
America.
Correct. Like, you're not going to be able to control people.
Mentality.
And they thought maybe, by telling everybody to stay in, it was going to contain it to a certain level. And then people were like, nah, screw that. I'm not staying in. I'm going to go out. Matter of fact, I'm going to go see my cousin in New York. And then I'm going to fly to this. And then it's like, and all of a sudden, like, before you know it, it's like, whoa, it's everywhere. And then it's like, okay, we didn't plan for this. We didn't plan to contain this much. Like, what do we do now?
I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical for that. Like, that would make sense, but if these guys are the masterminds that are, like, perfect actors and can manipulate all these strings behind the scenes, you would think they would account for America's selfish attitudes. Other countries, perhaps...
No.
Well, America... Okay, say America versus a place like China. So for China, if the government says, stay indoors, everybody's like, okay, I'm indoors. America, people have, like we said earlier, a much more independent mentalities and personalities. So if you tell somebody to do stuff, they're like, it's my right to have a gun. You ain't gonna tell me what to do.
But
blah,
also,
blah, blah.
Also, they played on the fact that a lot of people are pledge allegiance. So it's like, oh, whatever we say, you're gonna do. But now they're like, oh wait, they're not doing exactly whatever we say. We have to actually use a little bit of force with those people. Yet they pledge allegiance. Yes, they love the country, but they don't listen to us as, the governing power of the country. Yeah. So we have to use a little bit more force because naturally, like you said, in China, people will just be like, okay, the government said it, let's do it. Right. You know what I mean? And it should be the same because we say we love a country. We love the United States. It's a great country. When the government says, hey, listen, it's for your own good. Let's do this. Let's stop that. Most people should say, you know what, you're right, I'm going to do it. But that's the X factor. That's, you know what I mean?
I kind of wonder, too.
You know what I mean?
If America would have had, like, a unified message early enough, then would people have been taking it more seriously? Would they have actually said, okay, let's do what the government said versus...
No. People are not... You know how many people have died? People are still not taking this seriously.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because
they're still not taking it seriously. And how many people have lost their lives to it?
Right.
But the thing about it is, my question still is, because you know me, I question everything.
Yeah.
The flu is still killing people every day.
Right.
Just like this COVID-19 coronavirus, whatever they want to call it. But there was never much attention given to the flu like it was given to this coronavirus, COVID-19. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but to date, the flu has still killed more people when it came out than the coronavirus. To date.
That's what I'm curious about, too.
So why did they not give the flu that much attention? Because with the flu, they didn't shut anything down. They didn't tell us to wear masks. They didn't tell us to wear gloves.
Right.
There was never a pandemic. You know what I mean? So again, that's why I'm like, okay, this definitely has an agenda behind it because not only is it just here in the U.S., it's global. And you have to see how this thing is playing, like where the strategic places it's going to, it's happening, it's affecting. China, again, was the first. Now, I keep telling people, and people keep not listening to me like regular people. China is the new superpower. The United States have been dethroned a long time ago. We still think we're holding on to something we don't. Like, we're clutching our hands so tight, we think we still got gold in it, but by the time we open it, we realize that there was nothing in there. China's the new superpower. China speaks, the whole world goes after. You know what I mean?
See that.
China does something, boom, the whole world does it. China says this, the whole world says this. China is a new superpower.
I know. Have you seen like the certain stuff like? Well, obviously, the number one instance of that recently has been like the NBA type shit.
Yeah.
Of China doesn't want anybody to talk about like free Hong Kong or anything like that. And then the second like the leader of like one of those teams like tweeted in support of that, they immediately like cut their ties with the NBA. And then they had everybody else inside there, like all the normal players just being like, oh, well, we shouldn't be getting into global politics. We're just here to play a game. That's all we're doing. Because again, on the side, all of them had their own personal deals with like China.
Exactly.
And they say there's like a lot of instances like that too.
Exactly.
In like movies
look, I'm telling you.
So I can see that.
China is the new superpower. And this New World Order I talk about, the whole, that I've been talking about since we started this podcast, it's going to start with China. I promise you that.
But what does that mean, though? It will start.
China right now, they're way ahead of the curve, and they're keeping a lot of things under wraps.
Right.
Like, when they unveil some of the things that they've been keeping under wraps, it's going to spread like wildfire.
If they unveil some
no, they will unveil some of it, because they will. Because, even this, we talked about that the number thing in China, like, I think we talked about that one time.
Oh, the social credit score.
The social credit score, exactly.
Right.
And all that kind of, like, over here, don't think the people are now looking like, ooh, you know what? Because over here, you can already see the difference between, like, the super rich, the rich, and everybody else. They want that division. That's something they will gladly welcome here in the U.S. Now, when I say they, I don't mean people like me and you. I mean, again, the super rich, the people that actually have the power to influence the government or influence what happens to people like you and me.
Right.
You know what I mean? They will welcome that, because that will be a way that they can separate, everything. Look, like, if you're here, we don't want you to be able to come here because we don't think you fit in.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's like, that's just the tip of the iceberg. You know what I mean? I think there's other more diabolic things that China's playing with that they have kept under wraps. And when they unveil it, a lot of people are going to be like, ooh, that's a good idea. We need to implement that in our country. Like, we need to try that out and see what it. I'm telling you, China has so much in every country right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, now that's definitely undisputed.
It's ridiculous.
They said that, there's more ongoing struggles for resources down in Africa than there is going on over in like Afghanistan with like the oil and shit like that. So with the China going down there to try to procure like resources and whatnot, and I think there's like some lithium mine or something down in Mexico that they're doing like a lot of deals with trying to obtain too. But yeah, I mean, that's undebatable. That's undebatable.
And everything China is doing is very strategic.
I don't know about the New World Order part, but at least the fact that China.
Well, think about it. Think about it this way. Okay, if China say, I'm telling. Okay, we're saying China's. Okay, maybe you don't agree at this point that China's a new superpower. I understand.
I mean, I can see them being up there,
but you see all the activities around the world.
Right.
Do you know how much the United States right now owes China?
Oh, everything, basically.
Exactly.
Everything.
So this is what China's going to do. That's going to be the thing. We'll help everybody out. Oh, you need $2 trillion? No problem. We'll front it up. We'll front it to you. Oh, you need $1 trillion? We'll front it to you. Oh, you need help over there to get resources from Mexico? Don't worry about it. We'll get it.
Right.
Now, when it's all said and done, China's going to say, okay, guys, we've helped you guys, so now we need you to, pony up and give us back. And they're going to say, well, you helped us out, so we don't really have that to give you back. Can we work something out? And China's like, how about this? How about we just control your government and we call it even?
I don't know about that.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be that black and white. It's not going to be that black and white.
Right.
But it's going to be more like no. You still control the people, but we'll tell you what to do.
Now that's more so something.
You know what I mean? We'll tell you what to do, and
we'll
if you don't do
or
it,
if you can or can't do this or so.
Exactly.
Of like, okay, we need to have this thing built. No, we don't want you to build that, but you owe us. If anything, I could see something like that.
Exactly.
I don't see China being controlling the world. Though.
Well, it's not going to be. Nothing they do is going to be obvious. Right. They're not just going to say, "Oh, give us your government." And, And some Chinese man is going to be like, "I'm your new president." And
exactly.
Like you, Ching Chong Li. Like, no, man, we don't know you. Bring Donald Trump back.
I got you. Yes, that would be the extreme.
Exactly.
Wild ass book to read, though.
But it's not going to, but it's going to be that kind of like, okay, let's have a meeting. This is what we'll do. You'll still run your country, but you'll get your directives from us. And if we say no, it's no. Now, if you go against the grain, we're going to strike. I mean, we're going to do something that's going to be detrimental, maybe to your economy, maybe even to you. So, pay attention to what we tell you to do. And that's and then it's going to be like a domino effect, like bloop, 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 and then before you know it, then they're going to say, you know what, enough of this stuff. This is child's play. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to introduce this economy. All of you are going to do it, and that's it. Boom, done.
Okay, so let's look at it. I got you. So let's look at it as two different things. Like, one is China aiming to take and control everything, like throughout its tendrils connecting to each of different places. And two, the New World Order that looks to China as an example, and they want to implement some of the policies that they have. Do you see them as being two separate things, or do you see them both being the same thing? So,
I mean, I don't think it's two separate things. I think they're intertwined together. I think they really are.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So in a way of us being over here, and then we see something like them, again, with the social credit score type thing or so, with America, if there were some people over here that idealize that or so, how does that play into China wanting to control stuff over here?
Well, okay, so, I mean, if China started it, again, it's almost like, okay, so if I make this cup, right, and I have the sole patent to it that, okay, it's my cup, everybody knows that Julian makes the kind of cup, and you're like, oh man, I really like that cup. I want to stop making this cup, but you're like, I can't make it because Julian already has the sole thing, and then you come to me and say, listen, why don't I make a cup that's not exactly like yours, but something like this, and you just sell me the right for me to be able to do it, and I'm like, okay, sure, so. And then I say to you that every cup that you sell, say you sell it for $3, give me 50 cents.
A piece of it.
You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh yeah, I could do that. And then I'm like, well, deal's done. Here you go. Boom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See, now I could definitely see that on a normal circumstance. That's exactly how it will play out. But I think it's weird when it comes to like the copyright between like intellectual property with different countries and their stuff versus China, because China's just known to steal intellectual property and come up with their own. Like, they look at somebody else's thing and then they say, oh, that's pretty good. They don't tell that person, can you make one for us?
Yeah, they just
go ahead and make their own thing. So I really wouldn't see kind of like other countries being like, okay, China stole all this shit from us, now let's pay them to make us something or so like that. If anything, I could just see America, if they did idealize it and want to implement it, I could see them just being like, okay, we like that. Let's hire, I don't know, Google, an American company, to go ahead and make our own version of that. If anything.
So,
I mean, I don't know. That's just how I would see the copyright of it playing out.
There's so many variants of it. Like, I mean, obviously, I don't have all the answers.
I know. We're just piecing stuff together.
I think that everything, the big things are going to start out in China. I mean, what did this coronavirus start?
Yeah, a lot of the illnesses do start in the Middle East.
You know what I mean?
Or just in the East.
What did it start? China.
Yeah.
They were the first ones we heard about.
But a lot of ones do as well,
you know what
too,
I mean?
though. Some does in America, so it's ignorant to call it the Chinese virus. That's just dumb.
No, it's not. It's not a Chinese virus, but
right.
you know. But again, it's like, I mean,
the question is like, why do so many things start over there, particularly? Like, we know that there's the biolab research place over there, but I don't know.
I think the Chinese have been trying to take over the world for a long time. We just got hip to them. Like, I think they've been trying to do Pinky in the Brain for a long time, and we're just finally discovering it and waking up to it.
Definitely. Because again, people like look at other things too much. Like we were saying in a few videos back or so, is people's attention span is like so short that it's on to the next, the next. A big thing happens, like Epstein or whatever, and then something else happens. Oh, Trump said this, so you forget everything that happened last week.
Exactly.
So.
And this whole pandemic is going to turn out the same way. So
unfortunately, I hope not.
This whole thing too, because think about it. Some of the things that have happened in the past. There was a time Ebola was the big thing. If you've been to Africa, like Ebola, stay away from anyone who just came from Africa because they might have Ebola.
Right, Spanish flu.
Yeah, Spanish flu, Zika, and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, one day you wake up and nothing.
That's why
you don't hear anything about it. This whole pandemic thing. I was reading something that my wife was showing me. It was like somebody wrote something. They're going to gaslight the crap out of this global pandemic once they're done with it, and they're trying to wrap it up now. So that it can be done with it. I don't know how they want to stretch it out and do what they need to do, but they're going to gaslight it to the point that somewhere in the very near future, we're going to wake up and be like, man, remember when we were quarantined and we couldn't leave the house and all the stores were closed and, you drive past, I remember they were shut down, and it would just be like, that just seemed like it was a dream, like it never happened.
Yeah. They're
going to gaslight the crap out of it, and they're going to make you think that because everybody is just yearning, dying, not physically, just to get back to what they consider to be normal.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. And right now, the biggest thing is hashtag coronavirus, hashtag COVID-19. Like you cannot hear anybody talk about anything without bringing that up. Mainstream media. Even with commercials. Like why do you have to put that in commercials? Like my wife was playing one of the games. She plays, on
mobile
on her, and it was like, are you quarantined? Make sure to wash your hands, and I'm like, how do you put that in a game that I'm playing? It's Candy Crush for crying out loud.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I can see a positive to that though. Like them trying to do what little they can. They probably updated it or so like that.
I mean, I know, of course, well, you're the the IT guy. Like, you can write a code for anything, and you can slide it in whatever. I get that, but I'm like.
Just
really
a little reminder.
Really though? Really? I'm like, everything? Even YouTube, like I put on YouTube, I'm watching a video and at the bottom is like, get all your updates on COVID. Like, delete, dismiss. I don't want, no, I don't want that to be the basis of my life. Like, yes, I know what's going on. And do I feel bad for the people that are affected? Of course I feel bad. I pray for them, the families that are affected, of course. But I don't want it in my face. Just like with the regular mainstream media news, even before this happened, like I think we talked about that, they always bring the bad news, the bad news,
for sure.
The bad news.
Because that's what gets
and
the
it's
clicks.
Like in your face, like to the point that people who watch news every day are so paranoid that if they leave the house, they're going to get shot, killed, stabbed, and they just like hunker down and don't ever leave the house.
Right.
Like, no, it's really not like that. It's like, mainstream media is, you have to understand that whatever they want us to feel, they just funnel it through the mainstream media.
Right.
Social media, on the other hand, is supposed to be that part where, it's supposed to make mainstream media not as relevant, but now social media has turned into its own demon, so to speak, because look at the stupid things people do on social media. Like, the Thai challenge, like
all
those
that
stupid
stuff.
things that people do on social media. You know, now that people have been quarantined, I guess I just found out about this app TikTok.
Oh yeah,
Like, you know, and they do like, you know, now it's like the Don't Rush challenge.
the dancing.
Because you know, some people are doing it, and then this Don't Rush challenge is like, you know, you start off one way looking like you just rolled out of bed, and then, you know, and then the next thing you look like you're going to a ball, you know, to a gala with the president of the United States. I'm like, get out of here.
But again, that's like,
I mean, again, it's something to do at home while you're quarantined.
Right here. This is.
I know, right? Yeah, I just sound like an old man.
That's beyond even me, though. Yeah, so we're both old. This is the young generation. Not knocking on their thing.
Like, seriously?
But TikTok for them is kind of like Twitter or YouTube or so was for us. Or whatever the other one was. Vine or so.
Oh, Vine was the first. Yeah, Vine was the first one that came out for us. Yeah.
So what's the next point of that?
Yeah, so, I know. I mean, it's cool, you know. I mean, people... And the amount of time people spend on this thing. I mean, I guess now that you're home, you can't do anything.
You might as well.
You know, it passes time. Yeah, that's cool. But, you know, I mean, just a lot of things. But all I know is that they're going to gaslight this whole pandemic thing. And before you know it, it's going to be but a distant memory. You know, it's like...
But I don't know. Like, it could do that, but I think just about, like, any event kind of goes like that. Like we were saying, with the other illnesses, like the Spanish flu and stuff like that. Or even for, like, what is it, the 9/11. So, again, 9/11, nobody thinks about that on, like, a daily basis unless you were immediately impacted with it. Exactly. But people do still think back to say, oh, yeah, I remember when 9/11 happened. I was, like, in school and they rolled out the TV. So it'll kind of be the same. But at the same time, they did... 9/11 did change how society functioned. Like, there were certain checkpoints now in airports and stuff. And people, much more originally for bombs.
Absolutely. So. And anything that major, even this, like we were talking about, it's going to change the way we do things from this point on.
That's what
even
I'm
after this whole thing is done. It's like you're going to see a lot of changes. You're going to see a lot of things implemented because to say, oh, well, we don't, if that ever happened again, we don't want, ready. Yeah, we want to be ready. We don't want things to get out of hand. We, you know, all that kind of stuff. But,
which should be a good thing, though.
But what people think is normal is gone. It's like, you know.
All right. It may not be too different.
You know, Kansas is going bye-bye. You know?
Right. Okay, so it'll be different. The normal is gone, but it's not going to be too far from normal, I would say.
I mean, it wouldn't be too far, but it wouldn't be normal like you remember normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean...
And a lot of hoarders can start saying, I told you so.
Yeah.
Ramp up their activities. But.
Oh, boy. Good gracious.
But it is interesting, though, to, like, see how far things have come, though. And I'm just curious, like, when is going to start, like, tapering off and people start coming back out.
They're trying to force it to taper off. And I was talking to someone, and they were like, listen, if they reopen everything by May 1st and everything, and all of a sudden every curve just flattened out, they were like, I'm done with the government.
Oh, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, you know, out of nowhere, they're like, May 1st is like, everything, you know, the curve flattened out here, flattened there, flattened there, you know, we're good.
Zero cases in New York and New Jersey. Then I would start thinking, all right, Julian, tell me about this new world order. I don't know, you're making some pretty good points there.
Keep your eyes peeled and keep your ears closed. You know what I mean?
All right.
You know what I mean? You just never know. Like, hey, listen, people always look at me like, and they're like, yeah, you know what, you in this crazy talk, like. But again, everything is right there in the Bible. The Bible tells you everything. It tells you everything, how it's going to play out. It tells you everything. It gives you... I mean, of course, they're not going to make it. Even the mark of the beast, they're not going to call it the mark of the beast. Like, I mean, it's not... Like, how does that sound? If I told you, hey, I want to give you something called the mark of the beast. But, like, nah, give it to somebody else.
You just got to make it sound like a fad. Exactly.
Like nobody wants that crap. Like, mark of the beast. What's that? What kind of beast?
Make it like a nice name, a nice digestible thing.
Exactly. You know, they're going to, it's the chip. Oh, well, what does the chip do? Ooh, man, the chip does a lot. Like, you can do this, you can do that. Oh,
You don't even gotta go to school no more, man. All you gotta do is just upgrade a college
sign me
education.
up,
Yeah.
chip me up, baby. You know, it's like that. And especially this young, again, the TikTok, the young generation, they're so AI centered, it's crazy. So of course they're going to like jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
You know, it's like,
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I would think about it. If it got to the point where I could have like a mechanical arm that had like Superman strength, or I had like replace my legs with some kind of like automated type thing, so I could like run 50 miles. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, obviously,
AI body that I can just dive into video games and just live that life for a little bit. Oh yeah! They'd be like, oh, but you're gonna be controlled by the government. I don't care. Let me in.
Yes, I don't care. Let me in.
Let me in there.
I didn't know about that, man. I didn't know about that. No, man. I mean, yeah, sounds good, but hey, you lost me at being controlled by the government. Nope. I'm not signing that deal. Take it back.
Right. But I don't know. We'll see where we go.
Yeah.
Come back in like 20 years and see me all suited up with like glowing eyes and shit.
Oh, goodness. Hey, listen.
Fun stuff.
I mean, there are some good AI stuff, and obviously there's some bad AI stuff. So it's like, I mean, you know.
When the robots take over, who are they going to sympathize with? Me, being half robot, or you?
Oh, goodness. I was watching The Matrix again a couple of nights ago, and I was like, yeah, like, you know, machines are taking over. And to think about how long ago The Matrix came out, you know. It's crazy, man.
Right. Again, they super interesting.
It's crazy. Do I think we live? Someone has asked me that question. Do I think we live in a matrix? Oh, absolutely, I do. I absolutely do. I believe that we live in a matrix. We are in the matrix.
That is simulation theory. I don't know.
We are part of the. We are part of the matrix. We just don't know it. We just don't know it, and some don't want to believe it. You know, again, the movie. You know, you don't want to believe it. They want us to see the world is one way, but the world is really like this way. That's really what the definition of the Matrix is. Simple and short. The world is not the way they're presenting it to you. It's really the other way, and people don't want to look at the other way because they can't fathom it. So they choose to look at it this way because they prefer it.
I think people are trying. Like we all see the world like through our own perspectives or so.
Yeah, for the
some
most
people
part.
try to see the alternate truths, but
Yeah.
the Matrix is more so on like the simulation theory of saying that if technology keeps getting better and better and better, then we'll eventually be able to make, like I was saying, that video game that we can dive into that's like indistinguishable from real life.
And then
if that's the case,
they're going to eventually kick us out and wipe us out, and they're going to run the world.
Right, but if it's indistinguishable from real life or so at that point, then who's to say we're not already in it right now? This right now could be that game that's indistinguishable from real life. So that's the theory behind it, at least, but anything's possible.
Anything is possible. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
But
man, you know me, I'll still keep telling everyone who wants to listen. You know, you may say, you know, he's got some crazy, ideas, some, bat crazy ideas, but somebody one day will say, maybe he wasn't so crazy after all.
Maybe. I look forward to that day. I look forward to something happening to make me actually get to that conclusion. But, all right.
But that's what makes us human, man. We all hold our own opinions, and we just hope for the best. As long as we can coexist, we're all trying to figure it all out, man.
That's the biggest part.
We're all trying to figure it all out.
Right. Don't try to on other people's happiness, like we said before.
Yeah, exactly. I'm never going to force anything. I mean, my personal belief, my personal faith, I'm not going to force it on people. I can share with you the reason why I believe what I believe, but it doesn't require you to believe what I believe. Right. I mean, you can make your own ideologies, you can make your own decisions, I can only introduce it to you and you can give it a shot, and that's really what it boils down to. You can't make anybody do anything.
Nope.
You can just hope that they at least, give you an audience.
All right.
And
we all just take from each other's perspective and just
Yep.
try to form like an ultimate truth, an ultimate clarity. But
Yep.
do what we can.
But I mean, guess we're done. I don't know. I guess I'm done.
Yeah.
For this one, because I right now I have nothing else to say. Like, and I don't want to keep throwing this, out there. This whole Corona thing, COVID thing.
Right. We could. There's avenues that I can take it down, but since we're already close to the end, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Save that for next time.
So next time we'll just hop on an old bandwagon and see what other feathers we could ruffle.
Yeah, exactly. See where we're at then. If we're like self-quarantining by then.
Yeah, if miraculously everything is opened up and every curve has been flattened, then I'll be
interesting.
Like, aha!
If that happened by next week. 1 week away. Everybody's fine.
You know what I mean? Like,
heads.
Like Biggie said, he was all good just a week ago. A lot can happen in a week.
Yeah.
You never know.
Right.
But,
yep.
That being said, this is Julian.
And Ty.
And we're signing off on this one. See you on the next one. And again, we're not anti-government or anything. Keep doing. If you quarantine at home, quarantine yourself at home. If you're not essential, stay at home. My advice: if you believe what I believe, if you believe the same faith, pray. This is the time to buckle down on that kind of stuff. Just pray, tap into your spiritual side. If you read the good book or the Bible, get into it.
Don't gather still.
Don't gather. Don't gather.
That's,
so don't gather. Wash your hands. Do everything they tell you to do.
Wear your mask.
And just hope for the best. Just be positive. Don't let this stuff get you down. Stay positive. Human beings, God designed us to be more resilient than most people think. So,
and a big thing too, everything is temporary.
Yep.
Therefore,
absolutely.
This situation right here, temporary, like we said,
and
couple months, couple weeks,
shall pass.
Exactly. All right, my man.
All right.
Yep. Next time.
Till next one.